So, JoJo Siwa is back, and the internet is once again collectively losing its mind because she did something completely outrageous, like exist. Honestly, I don't know how this girl breathes without trending on Twitter at this point. First, she was the glitter covered children's pop star, then, she came out and was hailed as the queer icon. Now she's dated a dude singing Betty David's Eyes and dressed it like she's about to bake you an apple pie in 1950s musical. And somehow that's the final straw for society. And listen, people are super dramatic when it comes to JoJo Siwa. She could literally walk outside in a trash bag and people would still either clown her or blame her for the fall of Western civilization. There is no in between with them. And the real tea is, I don't know if JoJo even knows who she's supposed to be anymore. But I don't think that's her fault. I think that what happens when you become a pop culture brand before you even hit puberty. Let's take it back for a second. JoJo first popped up on Dance Mom, aka the show where tiny children dance and scream while their moms attempt to physically fight each other over who gets more pirouettes. JoJo was the loud one, you know, the one that screamed, "Look at me," with every sequel she wore. From there, she evolved into a hyper marketed bow wearing kid pop superstar who sold more accessories than actual album. Claire's stores are basically JoJo's mansions now. I'm surprised she hasn't bought stock in glitter at this point. Then in her late teens, she came out as pansexual, later identifying as lesbian, and honestly, the internet embraced her. She became a symbol of queer Gen Z kids everywhere. It was a rainbow flags and TikToks and standing ovations. But now JoJo is dating a man and suddenly the pitchforks are out. People are acting like she walked into Pride Parade and shouted, "Actually, never mind." But here's the plot twist. JoJo never said she stopped being queer. She's still identified as queer. She's just in love with a dude named Chris Hughes who looks like he probably says, "I don't usually do this," right before DMing 5 influencers. They met on Big Brother, bonded over being mildly famous, and boom! Now they're cuddled up on TikTok making tea like they have been married for 5 years and just bought a fixer upper in the suburbs. And apparently this is controversial. People are screaming that she's feeding into conservative feminism, saying that she's gone full trad wife and accusing her of intentionalized lesophobia. Homophobia is like lesophobia, which sounds like a condition where MD made up just to confuse me, all because of one cover of Betty David's Eyes. Yes, that's the thing that pushed the internet off the cliff. One vintage filter, a red lipstick, and a cute little headband. If this is all it takes to be accused of cultural betrayal, I'm scared to wear khakis again. Let's be real for a second. This whole situation has less to do with JoJo's lipstick and more to do with the fact that people get very uncomfortable when public figures don't stick to a role they're being assigned to. JoJo said she felt pressured to call herself a lesbian, even though she originally came out as pansexual. She told People magazine that some of the pressure came from within the LGBTQ community itself. And side note, that's like one thing nobody wants to talk about, the way that even an accepting space can sometimes demand labels like they're check-in boxes on BuzzFeed quiz. Honestly, JoJo has never had a chance to figure any of this out like a normal person. She went from toddler to tax bracket in front of the cameras. Her childhood was essentially a live stream. She was ranked weekly on national TV as a child. Imagine being 10 years old and being told you're not the best on the pyramid chart. That's the kind of trauma that turns people into either billionaires or a podcast host. So now that she's in this new relationship with a guy, people are acting like it's the end of her queerness. But spoiler alert, dating one man doesn't erase your entire sexual identity. It's not like Pokemon. You don't evolve into straight chakra just because your current partner is male. But because JoJo was put on a pedestal as the perfect lesbian icon, her stepping outside of that box is being seen as betrayal when really she's just figuring it out. Like every 20 something, except she has paparazzi and a TikTok army watching her every move. And let's talk about the way she does relationships. JoJo doesn't just date, she latches on to that relationship like it's a brand campaign. One minute she's single, the next is me and my boyfriend making tea every morning while wearing matching robes and filming it for TikTok. She does not know the meaning of chill. But again, when you've lived your whole life performing for an audience, maybe every relationship starts to look like a stage. But people keep saying that she looks happier now, as if happiness can be measured through a 15 seconds TikTok with a filter slapped on it. Others are saying she's finally normal, which, what does that even mean? JoJo Siwa has never been normal. That's the point. You don't wear 20 inches of bow, glitter covered comeback boots because you're trying to blend in. And honestly, why are we so obsessed with labeling people in the first place? Maybe JoJo Siwa's just herself, vintage tea and heterosexual phase. Maybe next year she'll dye her hair blue. Maybe she'll even adopt a cat and release a punk rock album. Who knows? That's what being in your 20s is for. Cringiness, fashion, confusing relationships, and learning not to put your entire soul on social media, or in JoJo's case, learning not to film every single date like it's a Disney Plus original. At the end of the day, if the worst thing JoJo Siwa is doing is wearing red lipstick and singing an 80s song while dating a man, then frankly, she's doing better than 90% of former child stars. I mean, she's not crashing cars, launching shady MLM, or starting a podcast with Andrew Tate. So honestly, I'm gonna say she's thriving. Let her be in love, let her post weird edits, music covers, let her bake metaphoric pies in peace, because the internet constantly demands being real and unfiltered, and then throws a fit when somebody shows even slightly different side of themselves. And JoJo Siwa, she's just a human glittered cannon trying to live a real life while everyone screams be yourself, as long as it's a version of yourself we liked last year. So that's the JoJo's current arc, from dance prodigy to rainbow icon to Betty David with a boyfriend. And if that's not a character development montage, I don't know what is. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. I just think everyone's being overcritical of JoJo Siwa. I mean, I made a few videos about her, or maybe just one, I can't remember. And in that one, I also mentioned like she's in her 20s discovering herself. So everyone should just chill. But let me know in the comments your thoughts. I know I'm not gonna like get a lot of positive comments because I'm not really going with what the masses are saying. But I'm so interested to know what you guys think. And if you give me attitude, I'm probably going to be rude back, okay? Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, give it a like. Do not forget to subscribe for more conversations with me, Raeesa Senpai. And that's it for this video. Until the next, and if you don't want to wait, check out some of these over here. Peace.